Today let's talk about a very important phylum, that is chordates, which comes under animal diversity 2, or we can say animal kingdom 2. Under the animal diversity 1, or we can say invertebrates. Invertebrates starts from phylum Porifera up to Hemichordata. This we have already studied, their general characters and classification. Now we'll start the next phylum, that is under the chordates. Total under the animal kingdom, we can categorize these animals under two major groups. That means chordate, non-chordates and chordates. Non-chordates already we discussed. Non-chordates, otherwise called as invertebrates, we discussed. Now the major group here, chordates. Today we will see the overview of the chordates here. Phylum Chordata, the most advanced phylum in the kingdom Animalia. Before I discuss the characters of these chordates, first of all, a very important name that we need to know, that Alfred Sherwood Romer. It is worthwhile to mention his name because he was considered to be as a paleontologist. And he studied comparative studies. That means anatomist, comparative anatomist, and specialized in vertebrate evolution. So he studied how the evolution has taken place in the vertebrates. A very important name, Alfred Sherwood Romer. Chordates includes around 6,000 known species. This includes 6,000 known species of heterogeneous group. That means here you find diversified. Chordata is one of the diversified phylum, and it's amazing phylum where you find different forms of animals under these chordates. With respect to their size, you can find as small as that means here the size will get diversified. The smallest animal and the largest animal. The smallest animal we say here, the mammal, we say it's a bumblebee bat, and the largest mammal that is in aquatic mammal, that is we say Balanoptera musculus. Likewise, you find Loxodonta, that means an elephant, the largest animal on the surface of the earth, terrestrial animal. That means you find a lot of diversification with respect to their size. But though they differ in their size, but the body plan remains same. The body plan will have the same similarities in most of the characteristic feature. Now, what is that basic similarity that all animals should have so that we can keep these animals under phylum Chordata? Means the most important thing is what we call presence of notochord. We will discuss much about the notochord here, but before that, see, presence of notochord, that means for any animals to include under chordata means they should have a very important structure, notochord, at least during their embryonic development. If not, that means either in the embryonic development or larval stages or in the adult form. They must have the notochord. Then only we can consider as a chordates. In that way, no, earlier in my earlier class, I told that Hemichordata earlier it was considered to be as a subphylum of Chordata, but later on it has been understood that stomochord is not a notochord. Therefore, this Hemichordata has been made separately as a separate phylum. It was kept under the non-chordates. It was kept along with the invertebrates due to the absence of the notochord. Therefore, now we can understand notochord is a very important structure that animal should have to be called as a chordate. This is a very, very important presence of notochord. See, notochord is the first endoskeleton during the embryonic development. Is a rod-like structure. What is notochord means? Is a rod-like structure that develop during the embryonic development, which results in the formation of this notochord will results in the formation of vertebral column. Vertebral column, and vertebral column encloses spinal cord. See here, notochord in the vertebrates it has been replaced by the vertebral column. In some of the chordates it has not been replaced. It will be there. That we'll see under the classification. On the basis of notochord only, the classification has been made. Further, this phylum has been divided into 3 subphylum. That shortly we'll discuss those classification. First, we'll see what makes us to include the animals that shows a notochord. We kept this under the chordata. This is one important characteristic feature, and the second here is presence of nerve cord. Presence of nerve cord. Now, this nerve cord already, this term you must have come across even in the invertebrates, like in earthworm, like in arthropoda. But their nerve cord, it is present in the what we call ventral side. But here, notochord and nerve cord, they are present on the dorsal side. Dorsal side of the body. See, in vertebrate, this has been converted into the vertebral column. That is seen on the dorsal side, or vertebral column is present on the dorsal side, right? This space is the ventral side. So, nerve cord here, what happened? Nerve cord, that means vertebral column encloses the nerve cord. Here, nerve cord, over a period of time, during the embryonic development, nerve cord is going to become here the spinal cord. Spinal cord. That means the anterior portion of the nerve cord becomes the brain, and the posterior part, the remaining part, has become the spinal cord. And of course, this is an ectodermal in origin. Ectodermal in origin. Whereas this notochord is mesodermal in origin. Mesodermal in origin. We will discuss in detail when we take up the general characteristic feature of chordates. Under this we will talk much, because now in this class we are trying to have a overview of this chordate. We'll try to understand the overview of the chordates. So, nerve cord here, ectodermal in origin. See here, one thing to be remembered: this nerve cord is non-ganglionated. Non-ganglionated, dorsal, hollow. In invertebrate, it is quite reverse: ganglionated, ventral, solid. In invertebrates, in chordates, this nerve cord is non-ganglionated, dorsal, hollow structure, which is present here. The location which is present just below the body wall. We'll see when we take up this notochord and nerve cord, its location, other details later on. So, presence of notochord, presence of nerve cord, then presence of pharyngeal gill slits. Pharyngeal gill slits and post-anal tail. Presence of post-anal tail. What are their functions, structure, everything detail we'll discuss shortly in the coming classes. Now, this we can say these are the four important. I say these are the four important hallmarks. Hallmarks to claim any animal. If any animal shows these four important hallmarks, then those animals will fall under the phylum Chordata. Once again, I recall the presence of notochord, presence of nerve cord, both are present on the dorsal side, and presence of pharyngeal gill slits, important characteristic feature. See, in hemichordate, you find balanoglossus shows the pharyngeal gill slits there. So that's the reason this is the one character that is that resemble with the chordates. Therefore, it has hemichordata has been become the a link between the chordates and non-chordates, pharyngeal gill slits, and of course post-anal tail. See, post-anal tail in some chordates it may be present or it may be absent, but definitely its endoskeleton. You can find the endoskeleton. That means, for example, we belong to chordates. We don't have the tail, but I said that these are the four important hallmark. Does we have the tail? Means yes, coccygeal. If once you see the vertebrae, the ending part of the vertebral column, you find the coccygeal vertebrae. So this is nothing but that these are the endoskeleton that support the tail. So in that way, we consider human being also fall under the chordata because of the presence of the most important characteristic feature of post-anal tail. That means this in some chordates you find all these four characters, if not in adults, but it can be seen in embryonic development. At least during the embryonic development, these four characters will appear during embryonic development. Therefore, we can say those animals under the phylum Chordata. Now we understood that four important hallmarks of chordates are the notochord, nerve cord, pharyngeal slits, and post-anal tail. What is the importance of the notochord here? Means notochord allows here during the embryonic development, notochord is a first endoskeletal structure present on the dorsal side, dorsal aspect of the body, and it will allow the muscles to get attached here, thereby allowing the side to side movement. And this is one of the important major factor during the process of evolution. The swinging movement takes place due to the arrangement of the muscles that get attached to the notochord. So usually this is the first endoskeleton to be appear during the embryonic development, and endoskeleton along with the skeletal muscle helps in the locomotion, in the swinging movement, right? Here you find because see, understanding the chordates has become necessary to us under the light of evolution. See, once you understand the evolution, how the evolution has taken place in the chordates, under the light of evolution only we can able to understand the concepts. We can understand how the development have been taken place. A gradual, changes that has been taking place in their body. Even if once you take internal structure, like with respect to the brain, with respect to the heart, there is a gradual development, gradual changes you find from simple form to more complex form. When it reaches to the mammals, mammals are the more complex animals in the phylum Chordata. Now we will see here the other characters such as usual, you can say here they are the triploblastic. They are triploblastic and organ system level of organization. Organ system level of organization. Then you can take this as a enterocoelomate. They show the coelom, enterocoelomate. And the most important character here is the heart is ventral side, ventral heart, and they are bilateral. Here you can add they are bilateral symmetrical. Body shows bilateral symmetry. These are all the general characters, and even closed type of circulatory system. Circulatory system is some exception under the protochordates that we'll discuss, but otherwise these are the general characters of the phylum Chordata. Now we'll see the overview of the chordates. See here, chordates can be classified. See, phylum Chordata, we can divide this phylum Chordata under 3 subphylum. 3 subphylum, such as Urochordates, cephalochordates, and vertebrates or vertebrata. Once again, we'll take up in detail about the Urochordates, but just we'll see the overview of phylum Chordata. Urochordate, why the name? At least we should know the basic things here. Why we call this as a Urochordate means here the notochord seen in tail during embryonic development, during larval stages, and disappear in adults. This is the first basic point to be remembered. Therefore, we say it's a Urochordates. And Urochordate, otherwise we say Tunicates. Why we say Tunicates means here presence of tunic, a substance that is equal to the cellulose. The body is covered with a tunic substance, hence the name called as tunicata, Urochordata or tunicates. And cephalochordata, here notochord is present throughout their life. It is not going to become a vertebral column here. Here also, here only it is seen in the larval stages, that too in the tail, and disappear in the adult. Therefore, we refer this as a urochord. And the other name for urochordate, we give the tunicates also, because of the presence of external covering, which is made up of a substance called as tunic, or which we otherwise refer as the cellulose, made up of, cellulose is a characteristic feature of the plants. So in animal kingdom, you never come across this term cellulose, except tunicates, where the body is covered with what we call a layer, which we call as the substance, the chemical substance, which we call as a tunic. Hence the name as a given as a tunicates. Here cephalochordates, notochord is present throughout their life. Therefore, we say, and why the name has been given cephalochord? Cephalic means head region. That means here notochord extend up to head region. Therefore, we say cephalochordata. And in case of vertebrate here, the notochord is replaced by vertebral column. Hence, we call as a vertebrata. So, this is what about the 3 subphylums of phylum Chordata. So, again, this vertebrate, further it is divided into like 2 division, that is we say agnatha and gnathostomata. This gnathostomata, this agnatha includes without jaw, and here with the jaw. These animals, see, presence of jaw is one of the important evolutionary step here in the chordates. Presence of jaw, right? And without jaw here. And this includes what you call cyclostomes. Cyclostomes, they are the extant here. And cyclostomes and ostracodermy. Ostracodermy has become extinct. And this ostracodermy has given rise to the jawfishes, early jawfishes. So gnathostomata, they further divided into two superclasses. That is, here fishes are pisces and tetrapods. Tetrapod. Under pisces, again here chondriactis. Chondriactis means cartilaginous fishes, and osteoctis. Osteoctis is the bony fishes. So under tetrapod, these divided into like classes such as amphibians, amphibia, reptiles, class reptiles, apes, and mammals. So this is just an overview of the chordate, phylum chordate here. These are the various classes under the gnathostomata. Now here, what is the other important points to be remembered? You can see that if once you look at the evolutionary aspects here, by taking evolution into consideration, you can find there is a gradual development in most of the organs. Like if once you take the kidney also has been started with as a protonephrons and mesonephrons and metanephrons. The kidney structure also has been developed. Even the heart, if you take heart also has been developed gradually in the vertebrates from the fish's heart. Fish's heart is a 2-chamber heart, and amphibians is a 3-chambered heart. Amphibians and reptiles, and apes and mammals, you can see 4-chamber heart. That means even anatomical feature also has been gradually developed during the process of evolution here. Here one important thing that here urochordate and urochordata and cephalochordata. Cephalochordate, both put together, we can use one more terminology as protochordates. So protochordates are nothing but it is not a category or a taxon. Protochordates is not a taxon. Just this terminology has been used to indicate the primitive form of chordates, in which this notochord has not been replaced with the vertebral column. Therefore, we say urochordate and cephalochordate, we call this as a protochordates. Proto means first form. They show less advanced feature as comparing to the vertebrata. So this is the overview of phylum Chordata. Further, we'll discuss some of the important aspects of the chordates here. See, if you take evolutionary aspects into consideration, here the presence of like muscles, it is a major factor that get attached to the vertebral column. Muscles that makes the animals to have a swinging movement. This is one factor you can take into consideration. And formation of jaws in fishes. Earlier there was some fishes which has become extinct here, like ostracodermy has become extinct. They are the jawless fishes, has given rise to the early jaw fishes. Likewise, you see there are so many developmental changes during the process of evolution, and not only that, even like when you take what you call Fish, see, for example, fishes are purely aquatic life. Amphibians, if you see amphibians, they are not completely, they are not successful in adapting the terrestrial life completely. Partially, they show aquatic life, and they exhibit what you call a terrestrial life. Why they are incapable of adapting completely means they lay the eggs in the water. They had to go back to the water during the breeding season. Otherwise, eggs will not hatch out. It will become dry. Therefore, it has become necessary for the amphibians to go back to the aquatic environment so that they can lay the eggs and further so that they can continue their species here. Now, when it comes to the reptiles has got a characteristic feature of like dry scaly skin, and very important what you call see, nature has been has provided. This is, see, nature itself we consider as a laboratory here. So the nature tried to evolve the animals basing on their what you call it makes animals to get adapt so that whichever the successful animal which shows adaptation, they have become successful. So the nature has providing the environment in such a way that they try to evolve themselves for the better adapted life. And here you can see that in reptiles, the presence of amniotic layers has become, or clidoic eggs. We say clidoic eggs are in reptiles. Clidoic egg. Clidoic eggs are, this is a having a shell. That means here shell has become shell with the pores. That which shell, this is eggshell, as having a minute pores, and this makes the reptiles to become successful for terrestrial life. Not only that, even extra embryonic membrane, appearance of extra embryonic membranes makes possible for the reptiles to adapt the complete terrestrial life. Likewise, if you see here in the birds, presence of air sacs. So these are the architect. See, nature itself is a architect. Nature itself, it's trying to trying to make the animals to develop certain characteristic feature for their survival. So as develop the air sacs, then pneumatic bones, feathers. So these are the special characteristic feature of birds which makes them successful to lead their aerial mode of life. Likewise, if once you see the mammals, in mammals, what are the fundamental character here means presence of hair, mammary glands, and development of placenta. All these characteristic feature unique to this group mammals, which makes them successful to lead their life. So these are all the various characters. Okay, amphibians. I said that amphibians they had to go back to the aquatic life or to the water bodies. So amphibians has to go back to the water bodies for laying eggs. So they are imperfect group. Why? Because here you can see eggs are their eggs should be moist to hatch out. Otherwise, there will be no hatching out. Means no population of amphibians. So the amphibians are the imperfect group. They could not able to adapt successfully completely terrestrial life. Now you can see that during the process of evolution, slowly the most evolved group is mammals. So if once you take the evolutionary aspects into consideration, like here you need to remember certain geological time scale. That means during which period of the geological time scale which group of animals has become flourished. Flourish means they are dominated, they grow. where if once you compare other group of animals, this particular group of animals will be growing fast. They are simply, we say they are flourishing. Flourishing means they can be distributed in most of the parts of the world. So such type of period we call as a golden age of those animals. If once you take like this, you need to remember golden age of fishes. We had to remember it is a Devonian period. Devonian period is a golden age of fishes. Then golden age of reptiles. It is of Mesozoic era. It's not a period, it's a Mesozoic era. Likewise, golden age of mammals. It is of what you call Cenozoic era. Cenozoic era. So, and golden age of, see, during which period, which group of animals are dominating means, we have to say here, these are the very important MCQs. Right now we are living in the Cenozoic era. Now you see here, apart from that, during which period, which group of animal flourishes means, you have to say flourishing. Flourishing period. Here we say Carboniferous period. Carboniferous period, we consider amphibians. Likewise, Jurassic period. Jurassic period for dinosaurs. Dinosaurs dominated during Jurassic period. Jurassic period of Mesozoic era. See, dinosaurs are the reptiles. And Jurassic period. Here, likewise, you can see Carboniferous period. Then Cretaceous period. Cretaceous period. Here, modernization of birds has been taken place. So during Cretaceous period, modernization of birds. Jurassic period, dinosaurs dominated. They have the very huge body size, dinosaurs, and then these have become extinct and given rise to what you call birds. Reptiles has given rise to, on one hand, birds, on other hand, mammals. So during Carboniferous period, amphibians flourished. So we use the term here flourishing or flourished. So these are the periods that you need to remember. Now here we can say that there are certain connecting links here. Connecting links between this group. See, ostracodermy has given rise to jawfishes. And osteolipid fishes has given rise to amphibians. Likewise, labyrinthodont amphibians. Labyrinthodont amphibians has given rise to reptiles. And here, theropod reptiles has given rise to birds. Birds are otherwise called as apes. Then therapsid therapsid reptiles has given rise to mammals. So what is the conclusion point here means, see, reptiles has given rise to birds and mammals. So it is not like that reptile has given rise to the birds and birds has given rise to mammals. It's not like that. Reptiles has given rise to birds and on other hand mammals. This is during this has been taken place Triassic period. Triassic period. This Jurassic period. And they become extinct. Dinosaurs has become extinct during Cretaceous period. During Jurassic period, reptiles, theropod reptiles, as given here, theropod reptiles has given rise to the birds, and during Triassic period, therapsid reptiles has given rise to the mammals. This is an overview, and by taking the evolutionary aspects into consideration, that you should have. See, under the light of evolution only we can understand the concept of biology, right? So these are the important concepts. Now we'll discuss some of the very unique feature with respect to the mammals. What is that unique feature? As we have seen the overview of the chordates here, here the highly evolved animals in chordates are the mammals. They are the mammals. Mammals has got a in the mammals, which species has become highly evolved means, of course, it's a Homo sapiens, human being, ourselves. And very rightly and optimistically, Carolus Linnaeus has given the specific epithet, the species name for the human being as a Homo sapien. We know that sapien means, what is the meaning of sapiens? Sapiens means intelligence. So here, how this intelligence has come into existence here, as far as the man is concerned, human being is concerned. It is here during the process of evolution, a tremendous what we call a transformation has been taken place. A genetical transformation has been taken place. This is contributed by the presence of or the expression of the genes, which we call as a FOXP2 gene. FOXP2 gene. Expression of FOXP2 gene in man. Because along with some other genes, FOXP2 gene has got an important role to play in the expression of the language. In the expression of language. Because and which makes the Homo sapien a very unique creature on the surface of the earth. Homo sapiens, the most intelligent animal on the surface of the earth, is nothing but, we say it is a human being, Homo sapiens. Very rightly, the name has given by the Carolus Linnaeus. Here, due to the expression of these genes, we can able to, the language, whatever. See, in the world, you find so many hundreds of multilinguistic language we speak, right? And this language expression is due to the expression of the genes, FOXP2 genes, very important here. Further, we are not going in detail with that, how these genes were, all details are not required at present. Just remember, FOXP2 gene is responsible for the expression of language and the cognitive skills. Cognition is, once again, it is a science, it's a medical science that deals with the learning of language. We say is a separate branch of medicine, cognitive. That means which part of our brain is responsible here in expressing the language and how the language will be learned. See, when we learn this language, we have learned this language so that when I speak, you can able to understand. If you don't learn this language, when I speak, you can't able to understand. The cognitive skills means it relate with the nearby, it relate with the understanding the language and and learning of the language is related with the cognitive, we say cognitive science otherwise. Cognitive science is a separate branch of medical science here. This deals with the functioning of the brain, which part of the brain is responsible for learning of the language at the, even at the cellular level, at the molecular level, we study the cognitive skill here under the cognitive science. So FOXP2 gene, which makes a man a unique creature on the surface of the earth, on the surface of the earth, and we can say man is sitting and observing. We consider in that way that it is ultimate. It is what is the ultimate creation of the God here is, we say it's a human being. Human being is a very special creation of the God, and man is sitting on the surface of the earth and observing how the evolution is taking place, on his mind screen. We can that means in what way we have to understand these lines means it's a man who can understand how the evolution has been taking place. He is a bioarchitect. He is an emerging architect of the nature. Man is considered to be as a emerging architect of the nature. Why? Because of man is considered, Homo sapien is considered to be as a advanced creature among all the species that you find on the surface of the earth. So in this class, we try to understand, we try to see the overview of the phylum Chordate, because phylum Chordata belong to us. We belong to Chordate. Chordate belong to us because we have we don't have the notochord here. Now, notochord can be seen during the embryonic development, but when we become adult, this notochord has been completely converted into the vertebral column. We have the vertebral column. We comes under the vertebrates. What is the structure? How this notochord derived? All these details, all other minute details, we'll discuss in our coming class. Once again, by taking all the four hallmarks of chordates. So I will see you in the next video. All the best.